What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video, and we got Survivor Series Wargames with 2 titanic double cage matches booked and much more. But what will be happening at the event? Will we get any surprise returns, debuts, or any shocking twists? Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at all the last minute shocking rumors you need to know about Survivor Series Wargames. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Let's get into our first rumor, as why did CM Punk join Roman Reigns? 2024 was a wild year for CM Punk, despite him spending half the year on the shelf due to an injury. While Punk had a fantastic feud with Drew McIntyre, the WWE reportedly had other plans for him prior to his injury, plans that will likely be taking shape at Survivor Series. The first plan revolves around why CM Punk decided to join up on Roman Reigns' team. In case you missed Friday's SmackDown or a recent news video, CM Punk pointed to Paul Heyman when he helped Roman clear the ring of Solo Sikoa's bloodline, clarifying he did it for Paul and not for Roman Reigns. A rumor has it that Punk's decision will play a big part in the long simmering feud between him and Seth Rollins. Count on Punk throwing this in Rollins' face, with Punk taunting Seth that he proved to be the bigger man by setting aside any differences he had with Reigns to do, well, the right thing. This could also help facilitate Rollins' potential heel turn. It seems that this could also be in for the long haul, as we may not have Seth Rollins vs CM Punk until WrestleMania 41. Number 2 is CM Punk setting up Roman Reigns. The WWE Universe began putting a wish list together when CM Punk returned at Survivor Series, hoping that Punk would battle Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. While a title match is now an afterthought, a Punk vs Reigns match is still a match that fans want to see under any circumstances. The problem is that Reigns' schedule is booked through WrestleMania, whether it's talk of him fighting Solo Sikoa or The Rock at the Showcase of the Immortals. But that doesn't mean that something won't happen during the Wargames match that may plant the seeds for a Punk vs Roman match after WrestleMania. This could all depend on Paul Heyman, the biggest wild card at Survivor Series. Our Wargames promises to have lots of swerves and shockers, including several wild cards in the form of Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, CM Punk, Jimmy Uso, and The Rock. Once a snake, always a snake. Paul Heyman's return couldn't have come at a better time, but fans should ask who is benefiting from the Tribal Council's return, but who Heyman is using to benefit himself. If ever the saying a leopard can't change its spots, it applies to Paul Heyman, who was the original wrestling's ultimate opportunist when Edge was still dreaming of becoming a wrestler. Anyone who thinks Heyman is back to help Roman Reigns, or anyone else for that matter, hasn't followed Heyman's career correctly. Heyman is backing to help himself, which means he's aligning himself with whomever he thinks can help him the most, be it Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, CM Punk, Jimmy Uso, or The Rock. Now, correct us if we're wrong, but didn't Paul Heyman once tell Roman Reigns that the WWE title is the most important prize in the business today, and if there's no title, there won't be no wise man for him? Now, while Heyman will walk into Wargames with Roman Reigns in the original bloodline, there could be a good chance that he'll be leaving with someone else. But could he leave for Solo Sikoa? Did Paul Heyman come back just to betray Roman to Solo Sikoa? It seems kind of unlikely, especially after the beating Solo and his enforcers dished out to Roman. However, wrestling has had enough situations where someone was beaten up by a heel only to come back and join them. If Heyman thinks the odds are on Solo, he'll switch sides, much as he ditched Brock Lesnar for Roman Reigns. Not to mention, did you notice that Paul Heyman was wearing a red shirt and a handkerchief just like Solo on last week's SmackDown? When has Paul Heyman ever worn this kind of combo before? Doesn't it seem a little bit sus? But could Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns for CM Punk? And one fan theory worth addressing is Paul Heyman returning to manage CM Punk. The WWE established a two-man's friendship when Heyman asked Punk to take him away from the bloodline earlier this year. One possibility is that Heyman has had enough of the bloodline, whether it's the original or Solo's. Heyman may believe that both sides are too busy trying to end each other that they're out of the title hunt. Punk is hungry for a title, and Heyman may feel his best chance is with Punk. In this case, Heyman doesn't have to turn on anyone, he can merely leave with Punk and tell Roman their business relationship is over, which could explain why Heyman changed his phone number. While this may sound like a stretch, consider this report from Wrestling News about what happened after SmackDown went off the air. After the show went off the air, there were hugs with Punk and the Usos while Reigns stood from a distance. Punk left with Heyman while the rest of the original bloodline walked from a distance. Whether in the ring or walking up the ramp, there wasn't a single interaction with Reigns and Heyman. Was this a case of Roman and the OG bloodline not trusting Punk, or Heyman making his allegiance known? What do you guys think? But what if he turns on Roman Reigns for Jimmy Uso? What was the look that Paul Heyman gave Jimmy Uso on the 22nd November SmackDown? Fans who dissect every minute of WWE TV, which is often a wise move in light of how many Easter eggs the WWE provides its fans, actually notice Heyman wink at Jimmy. Is there something going on with Heyman and Jimmy? Either with Jimmy prepared to betray Roman and join Solo Sikoa, or just going on his own? It seems like a long shot, but it shouldn't be ruled out when you consider the WWE's fondness for foreshadowing things. But what about the most interesting one? Paul Heyman betraying Roman Reigns for The Rock. While his appearances are limited, The Rock's presence can always be felt in WWE as fans wonder when he'll show up and whether he's manipulating things from behind the scenes. More fans are subscribing to the theory that The Rock is the true power behind Solo Sikoa's bloodline, and while that remains a theory, The Rock may reveal his plans at Survivor Series. If so, he could attack Roman Reigns after Wargames or even enter into a match, perhaps with one of Roman's teammates being taken out in a backstage attack. However, we think the WWE's less is more approach with The Rock's appearances makes it just as likely the final boss will make a cameo appearance at the show's end, delivering another cryptic clue to the parties involved. But if The Rock really was the true power and leader behind the whole bloodline, don't you think that Paul Heyman would go straight to the top, backing them up over anyone else? But it's never over. The men's Wargames match promises to be a violent and likely bloody brawl, but don't expect anything to be resolved. Unfortunately, the WWE's version of Wargames has history of only adding fuel to the fire when it comes to feuds. This and the rumors that Roman Reigns and Solo's feud will extend into 2025, possibly with The Rock either joining Solo or taking over, meaning something will happen to heat this feud up even further. Even if Roman and his crew win, a post-match beatdown and or injury is all that's necessary to keep things going. But are more Bloodline members coming? As always, the possibility of new Bloodline members joining the saga has to be addressed. Hikuleo and Lance Adowahi are under WWE contract, and despite reports Lance is reporting to NXT, that could all be a smokescreen. Having one or both monsters show up is a great way to make things look bleak for Roman. It's rare that a babyface has even odds against a heel, something that Roman should know from his heel run. If the WWE goes with the storyline of The Rock pulling Solo strings, this could be another way he's hoping to weaken Roman before he faces him one-on-one. But that's just the start. While the Bloodline is going to play a significant role at Survivor Series, there's plenty of other action going on. That being whether Tiffany Stratton finally cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase. Tiffany Stratton may be the biggest winner in the women's Wargames match. Miss Money in the Bank is in for a hellacious fight, but if Nia Jax can get laid out during the match, Stratton then could decide it's Tiffy time and cash in a briefcase after the brutal bout, assuming that Tiffany isn't taken out during the match. This would be a great opportunity and the perfect way to end this storyline as fans are bored with whether or not Stratton cashes in a briefcase on Jax, as has been teased numerous times now. But what about Jade Cargill's attacker? Will they be revealed? Jade Cargill is out of action due to a brutal backstage beatdown which may be related to a real-life injury. Fans are curious who took Cargill out. One theory is that it's former SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi, whose failed attempts to win the women's title from Nia Jax may have pushed her over the edge. Survivor Series would be a great place for the WWE to reveal the attacker's identity, and if it's Naomi, fans could see Naomi walk out on her teammates or pull a Dakota Kai and attack a teammate before they even enter the match. And the brawl to end it all. Well, the triple threat between Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker, Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser should be the perfect appetizer for the men's Wargames match, as all three superstars have reasoning for wanting to crush each other. Although the outcome seems likely, this should be a bout full of broken tables, barricades and bodies, possibly leading to a wrestler being written off with a kayfabe injury. What do you guys think of these rumors? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.